Hello there everybody, and this is Space Nyan and Spooky, and we're going to be casting the NUL tournament. This first game of tonight is going to be Manchester versus Cardiff. So what we do have is these five coming from last season. We had Manchester coming in, they came first last season, and Cardiff came with a very respectable position in last season as well. So as we're going to get into the picks and the bans phase, we're just going to get started. Alright, and now we've got into the picks and the bans. We're going to see what exactly is going to be picked and Spook, are you here?
I am.
Hello. Right, okay, for the first ban we've had Fizz. Fizz has been a really strong mid laner just because of the most recent buff. Well, it was a tweak towards him. His E, his Playful Trickster, got a bug fix, which in fact made him extremely more reliable than before, because before it never used to apply the damage. Although now, with that fix coming in, making him a really strong mid laner and a highly contested pick at all ELOs and competitive play. Thresh, as you know, not exactly a weak support, is one of the most favourable supports of the game.
It's a pretty standard ban at any LO.
Very standard ban. Cassidon, well, very standard as well. A lot of people seem to really want into him, especially in competitive play.
Wow, he has such a great ability to snowball the games, especially if you get him rolling early.
That's
Shut
definitely
down
true.
a lot of mid laners. The Fizz ban's understandable as well. Now that the he's consistent, he's just so deadly in the mid. And obviously he has to just take out the AD carry out the fight instantly and turn a fight. He is such a strong pick at the moment.
We have Shen coming out. Shen's always been contested. Ever since his huge rework, he's just become one of the best top laners. He was good in the jungle for a while. They nerfed his jungle speed down to the point where he can't jungle really anymore. And now he's just such a safe top laner, especially in the 2v1 scenarios, where he actually has the kill potential that not many 2v1 champions have.
He's such a strong split pusher. End game, you can't really deal with him. And obviously with the ultimate, you can get back into the fight, turn 5v4s.
And what we have is we have Zac and Jarvan. Now, Zac and Jarvan have always been quite strong ever since they've been tweaked, buffed, came out and such like.
See, I'm slightly surprised about the Zac ban with the recent nerfs. He hasn't been as competitive as
That's true.
Noir.
Especially
The
with
Jarvan ban.
the Jarvan ban.
Understandable.
Definitely the Jarvan ban. Especially, I know Manchester quite like the Jarvan pick. They pick it up now and again, and it's just really just works. The ganks are strong. You know, the invadings are strong. Everything about Jarvan's still really strong right now.
He's just such a strong champion at the moment. I can actually see him getting a nerf soon. And that ultimate, obviously, if you take like an AD carry that can't, or you don't have your flash up, you can trap the AD carry, you can take them out of the fight, you can assassinate them, and he works great with someone like Rumble, where you can just stack that ultimate across the fight and keep that damage coming.
That's so true. And we got Elise. Elise is going to most likely be jungle. Oh wait, without the Vi pick, that's probably going to be Elise top lane. Now, most people really do not like playing against Elise for a number of different reasons. She can build tanky. She doesn't require the amount of items the other top laners have, and generally her entire kit is extremely strong.
She has a lot of damage output with that Q, especially if you've taken like I know Shen's banned, but against someone like a Shen, that's a lot of damage output with Q. Obviously, you get the max HP, and then you get the percent they're missing as well on top of that. And then you've got the escape with the repel. It's just an overall very strong pickup with the cocoon as well. Just like lock somebody down. It's generally a really good pickup for any team.
Yep, that's very true. And Ari, we have Ari and Lisa, and Ari and Lisa both quite strong in their own rights. Very mechanical, heavy champions. We've seen Ari just being picked up in competitive play. We've been seeing her just dominating games. She's been rushing DFG, or if it's the Abyssal Scepter rush, either way, she still puts out so much damage, giving out the wave clear in order to just roam anywhere she likes, especially with 3 dashes on the ultimate.
Wow, she is so strong at the moment, especially with the DFG. You can just the stuff she can get into the back line, take the Vayne out, and obviously, as you say, can pick up a lot in the competitive. Of Faker being a perfect example.
This is very true. And Faker being renowned for playing Ari recently, he's been assassinating people. Whether it's LeBlanc or whether it's actually just playing Ari, he's just able to just get in there about the carries and just take people out. Just Ari's just just resonates that assassin role.
See, I'm very surprised about the Vayne pickup though. With the likes of Vi and Elise being able to dive onto the back line, Vayne just seems a little bit risky.
Yep, this is very true. And according to the whole, they have Kennen, but they also have a Janna. Now, miscommunication is quite common, and one thing I would have seen is many Jannas just screwing up their own teammates in an AoE comp. Although the Janna should be able to at least give some peel for Vayne, especially during the early and mid game.
I can understand it, but picking the cannon in it as well, it could be like absolutely disastrous for them. If the Janna knocks them out of the cannon ult, that's one huge amount of CC down and a lot of, their damage gone.
It's very true. And you would know more about this than me, Spook, but Tristana. Tristana's came back. Like, why? Why has she came back?
With Blade of the Rune King and her Q, you can easily get such a high attack speed, and then if you stack Infinity Edge on that, you get massive amount of damage, high attack speed, and you can end game. You would be able to just completely shred people. At the moment, she is just such a strong champion, and obviously with the range she gets per level, she'll be able to completely outrange Vayne. She's got her escape. With something like the Blade of the Rune King on the Q, the damage output is just massive.
I do really like the Blade of the Rune King. Even on Vayne, Vayne feels really strong now. Even just as soon as she gets that, like the Cutlass, she just becomes stronger than some AD carries. Whereas before she was so weak without it, because she was relying on getting that BF sword first, or going for that straight Bloodthirster, but now she can kind of go play the Rune King, and she doesn't have to worry about getting caught as much, or dying.
Well, obviously with Vayne and the Blade of the Rune King, the active on it also gives her a way of escaping, obviously taking the movement speed.
And
obviously gives her an extra bit of escape, especially against someone like Ari. She can Blade of the Rune King, then condemn her back and use that extra movement speed just to get that bit of range from the second dash.
And Malphite, we have Malphite, Kennen, Janna. Now, it's a huge AoE comp, and still the Janna, like, okay, I hope this works out for them, although they need to have so much coordination when it comes to this. If they screw up even the slightest amount, their entire DPS is going to be gone, because Kennen, while he does do damage, he's mostly going to have to be he's going to be the follow-up initiate to the Malphite ultimate, and if Vayne dies, they're just going to lack the damage in team fights.
The Janna makes no sense in this team comp. If you wanted them grouped up, so Janna's going to knock them away, which just completely counters everything they want to do. Because obviously you want to get the Malphite ultimate on as many as you can, along with the Kennen ultimate. So I would have said pick something like a Leona on top of that, to, obviously to get that ultimate on them as well, to keep that AoE damage, get them all locked down, to keep them in that Kennen ultimate as well.
That's very true. And seeing, if we look at the picks on the enemy team, now we do have a very mobile Elise, Vi. Tristana can jump away. Ari has more than one jump, and you have Zyra. Now Zyra's always been a great pickup for CC, but it's about the ultimate. Now, like Cassiopeia, that ultimate can be used to disengage fights very well.
Zyra is perfect against the cannon. If she can land that snare to disengage from that ultimate, it's just going to be perfect. Just stop that cannon getting into the middle of the team, getting onto the vein, like lock it down. And obviously, I can't see anyone that's going to be able to, other than Malphite, is going to be able to jump in on the Tristana.
This is
Because
true.
obviously Lee Sin's Q, but if he can't hit that, he's not going to. If Tristana's still at the back, he can't get the Q range. He's not going to be able to get onto the Tristana. So the Tristana's very safe in this situation.
Very true. And also with Tristana's Buster Shot. Now, Tristana's Buster Shot is going to obviously knock back anyone who tries to get near, except from Malphite. Obviously, he's unCCable when he's traveling in his ultimate. But things like if Lee Sin goes for an insect play, as we were calling it, he would just get knocked away, and that would completely be his side of the initiate, just completely disappeared. So they're going to have to play very, very well in order to beat Manchester this game.
I have to give this one to Manchester with their pickups. They've got the dive into the vein. They've got the disengage with the Zyra. They've got the Tristana who can get out of the fight, away from the cannon, knock the cannon back or the Lee Sin back, and stop them engaging onto her. So I have to give this one to them.
And now we're going to get into the game, hopefully, if this works.
I should probably click spectate right now.
There we go. There we go, it works. Excellent. Now, when I played last season in the NUL, Cool Kid was such a good jungler. He just knew where to be most of the time, and he just was in the right position for ganking, and he's very, very much wanting to go into the mid lane and just shut down Kennen. He just wants to get Ahri fed, get Ahri roaming, and that's them. If Ahri can get strong enough that she can just one-shot Kennen or one-shot Vayne, then the game's going to be over just from that. And you got Vi, who's got Running Teleport, which should be to counter the Malphite.
I can see the teleport pickup to counter the Malphite, but it kind of takes away a bit of her kill potential in the lane, obviously not running the ignite. So it could just turn into it, but then again, she does have the percentage HP damage on her W.
Yep, Malphite's going to have to be tanky, he's going to have to get that giant spell as soon as possible, try and get a Sunfire cape, because the first few levels, Vi's going to just harass him down. Malphite's going to have to burn mana on the creep wave, and just trying to keep up afloat, because Malphite's early game, as we all know, is kind of weak compared to Vi's, because Vi has a lot of damage early game, and it's going to be easy to gank Malphite once his flash has been burned.
Vi can win this lane very early on if she harasses the Malphite, takes him out of lane, and obviously if the Elise comes up and they get an early kill, it'll be able to just snowball it nicely. I actually don't know much about the other team, but I do know the AD carrier from Manchester.
Little Hobbit?
I do know him. I actually duo with him, and he is a very, very good player. And if he performs, he can easily carry this game, especially on Tristana. If they get this into late game, it's going to be a very interesting matchup between the Vayne and the Tristana.
Very much so, and it seems like Ahri may be disconnected, so we might have a jungle invade or just maybe a face-off in mid lane. Blues.
I can't see Manchester trying to evade with the Ahri disconnected. That would be very dangerous on them.
Although they have been caught up into the purple side ward, and we have a pause going down.
This must be for the Ahri disconnect.
Must be for that. Mr. TD not being in the game so far. Now, let's turn on the all chat so I can actually see what's being said. Where's it gone? Oh, there we go. Right, we should be okay now.
Just looking at the Vayne's runes, she's decided to take some armor pen as well. We have Tristana with 7.68 armor penetration, where the Vayne only has the 3.98. So obviously with the Tristana range, she'll be able to harass the Vayne out of the lane early and hopefully take a nice advantage from it.
We have here, we actually don't have any coverage of the jungle by, well, by blue side. We only have the Wraiths covered here, as you can see. And we also have in the jungle here, whereas on the purple side, purple's warded more defensively. They've warded just around the back of the red buff where Lee Sin's going to start, and they also have a more aggressive ward, although they really wanted to ward near the Wraiths so that they could possibly catch her at least, even if she is starting red. And we have another pause coming in.
The purple side's ward on the red buff gave them either the potential to know where at least is starting, or the potential for Lee Sin to take an early advantage, go and counter the red, possibly steal it, get a kill, and start to snowball the game early, and deny Elise her buffs.
There we go, we're back in. And Lee Sin just going to start on his red as well, so we have a double red start this time. And going top lane, Vi is going to be going against Vayne and Janna. Now this is a really good opportunity for Vayne just to get up that safe CS, so when it comes straight down to getting up to Tristana, there's going to be a 2v2 once they trade turrets, hopefully. Vayne's going to be strong enough to be able to sit and auto attack down Tristana while not being able to get too much harassed by her E passive.
Now is Lee Sin going for a blue steal here? I know, he's just backing out. I'm surprised he didn't go for that one.
Oh, well.
He's now at least has the jungle advantage. Obviously she's cleared the blue. Lee Sin's now behind because he didn't go for it.
You have Malphite down in the bottom. I mean, he's quite healthy. You know, he started with Flask and a pot. Now, from competitive play, I noticed most 2v1ers going a Doran's shield start like Vi has. It kind of gives her the regen, it gives her the health, and allows her not to die, because she'll be tanky enough to survive tower dives or survive that extra bit of harass.
See, now I'm surprised that the Malphite hasn't gone with the Doran shield as well, obviously with the Tristana's range bonus, being able to get the auto attacks off. I can't see him being able to sustain that long with just the pots and the flask.
And even said that, he's doing quite well, although Lee Sin's been harassed a huge amount. You know, he's down to what, 200 HP, and he needs to go back now. He's lost the jungle presence from that, and he's not going to make that use of his red buff as he'd really want to, especially when he wants to, you know, go mid lane.
Well, that time bottom, obviously he's had to go back. He's just giving Elise the advantage here. She's been able to can carry on farming, you know, just get the XP advantage, which hopefully for her will lead into level advantage. Obviously, with not being forced back, she's now just denied the race from Lee Sin. Just extremely smart play by her. It's going to keep Lee further behind. And obviously, as you know, Lee Sin's early game is quite snowbally, but yeah, he drops off the late game. So the further behind they can keep him, obviously, the least effective he's going to be through the game.
It's true, but ironically, Well, Elise is actually lower level than Lee Sin, but that will be just down, straight down. The fact is he took a lot of EXP when Malphite was at the tower.
And Lee Sin's going on the Ari.
And here we go. Can we get first blood here? Oh no, the charm misses, and it's first blood. It's first blood. There we go. Oh, Lee Sin took it, but that was a good kill secure right there. Can we get the E proc? He flashes. It doesn't get the damage off. And now Elise is in a really bad situation right here. This is another kill for Lee. There we go, double kill.
That all happened. I think Ari was just trying to save her flash, and it ended up costing her.
It's definitely true. When you're mid lane and you feel like, even though it's a risk to burn flash, if you feel like you're gonna die, you need to burn that flash. You know, even if it means like you're gonna be unsafe from ganks or from jungle pressure, or even just from the enemy laner. Giving up a kill in the early game, especially against Kennen, that's got to be hurting.
Sin got the kills, which just means he's going to be able to snowball. It's going to make his gank so much more deadly now.
Definitely.
As
It goes
you
back
see,
with Dorans.
she had the gold to go back and get another Dorans, so she would have been better off using that flash and going back and getting 2 wards to keep her safe.
Definitely. And right now, like, I mean, if you're looking at mid lane, the only wards we have are on the top side of the river. Now, even though that's not great as such, she's now prone to get ganked from her red side. And here we go, Vi going straight in for the ultimate, and has now been caught under the tower. Oh, that was a very risky play by Vi. We just got Kennen leveling up. Kennen's now 6, and so is Ari. Now, this is where Ari needs to go aggressive. You know, she is the same level, and she just want to like get in about him, get her out of the lane. Because she should use her 2 Doran rings just to get a power up spike against Kennen, just to kind of send him back.
Just looking at the mid lane at the wards, Kennen had already placed his before Ari actually placed hers. So if they were watching, they would know that only the top side was warded.
Got Lee Sin picking up his second buff of the game, or second red buff of the game as well.
So now you've got Malphite roaming up on the unwarded side.
And here we go, can we get a gank off? And here comes the slice and maelstrom, and Malphite misses! Malphite misses the ultimate. And now Ari just puts down the harass on Can, even though she's low. That's a deadly mistake. That's cost him a kill right there.
Well, he would have been better off just waiting for Kennen to try and get that stun off before using the ultimate and getting the Q onto her. So obviously after she charges, there's a slight delay before you can use it again. Obviously that would have been the best time to try and land that ultimate.
Now right now, Lee Sin could be able to just kick. Oh, nice. Lee Sin's strong enough to actually just take tower hits.
Wow,
he took 3
Dorans,
tower hits just with Dorans.
On the Q. That damage.
A lot of damage.
It's just incredible. It's something like 8%, I think. Could be wrong. It could be a little
And
bit
Elise
less.
is now trying to solo Dragon, although that's a really, really late reactions from Vi. She should have been straight up there to help. And now Ari could be dead. Ari's now dead, and now we have a possible Drake, and the Drake's gone as well.
But just looking at Lee Sin, he's going for the kills. He's got 4 points in his queue, so he wants that damage. He's going to snowball the early game with the damage off the queue. The 8%, it's 8% of their missing health. So he's going for the kills.
And here we are, we've now got the 2v2 as we said it was going to happen. As soon as they got a tower down, they were going to swap back in. Now, in this case, blue side got the advantage from getting the tower first. So now they can use that item advantage over Vayne to just be stronger when it comes to trading and harassing.
But the difference is with Vayne having the vamp scepter, she has the sustain advantage.
Let's just see how this lane will pan out. Whether or not Vayne's just going to be able to win in this lane. But looking at this, the top lane tower is going to go down as well now. Because I don't think that Janna and Vayne are going to keep this up against Tristana and Zyra. Huge amount of pushing. Although, if we go top lane now, you can see Lee coming in. Now Lee has all. Oh!
There's a
It's
teleport
very
behind
smart.
them.
Here comes the Malphite teleport, possibly a Vi teleport. Straight onto Lee Sin. Oh, no kills from that. We got the ults burned, but no
Ari going up,
kills.
she's got the flash up, she's got her ult up, so she would be able to dive right now. And Vayne could be caught.
Oh, that must be a dead Vayne. There we go.
If Elise could have hit that cocoon as well on the cannon, that could have been a second kill there.
Vital.
But
Although
they should be able to push the tower out of this.
easily, and we got Ari going in. No, just being greedy. But we do have the tower going down. That was really good. That's exactly what Blue side wanted. They want to try and pick up a kill and just push the turret advantage. The pushing power that they have right now is very strong. They want to get themselves rolling. They want to get Tristana just that little bit higher off the ground.
Just looking at bot lane at the moment, in all that, Malphite didn't even get back to that tower, so he got no damage down on it, and Vi should be there shortly to clear that wave. So that was fantastic for Manchester.
Very so. This tower is still near full HP. They haven't been able to take it down.
Have another pause coming up. See, even in that
Another
2v1
pause.
top lane, Manchester's tower is still standing when Cardiff had the 2v1 advantage. But obviously with Vayne's short attack range, it's a lot harder to take a tower than it is for someone like Tristana. And obviously with her Q, like, attack speed buff is obviously just allows her to take the tower so much quicker than the Vayne.
It's unfortunate we've been having all these pauses. We're having a lot of problems.
In the meantime, I can work out how to turn the chat on.
It's exactly what I'm at.
It's the interface visibility. Ah, so Vayne's DC'd.
Whoa. Oh, really?
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has reconnected.
Blue side's not having the greatest of time when it comes to having connections.
That was actually purple side, their Vayne.
Oh, so it was.
Could the
That was-
lag be also what caused her to lag behind the team and get caught out by the Ari?
This could be exactly what happened. So going back to the game now, we have Janna and Vayne going straight up back up to top lane, trying to get that farm, although Vayne doesn't seem to be moving because she's disconnected again.
See, obviously with the Vayne in the top lane and the Malphite going back down the bottom, this would be perfect time for Manchester to rotate to the mid and take that mid tower, which would obviously deny so much vision. Everyone knows how important it is for vision control. And with the top one gone, it would give Manchester so much control over the Baron when it spawns. Obviously having their top tower still there as well.
Yeah, this is true. Just so many towers been taken. Now we need to rotate, get mid lane. They want to have mid lane tower down. They want to try and get 3 people there at least, just to take that mid tower. And by that time, dragons should be spawning. Should be getting ready for that dragon. And with the turret advantage, even though they're down through like 4 kills to 1, they still should have the item advantage over Cardiff on this one.
I see Tristana going back to the top lane. So obviously she's going up there to push by herself to counter push the Vayne, which they would then give them, at the looks of it, a 4-on-3 at the moment at the dragon.
Or here we are. Ari's just going to take the turret here, is she? And Ari's going straight in. Oh, so she's been stunned right under the turret. Vi goes down and gets the ult and kills Kennen. That was good reaction from Vi just to come straight into mid and take down Kennen before Ari was away to get popped.
This should be the
Oh,
tower.
and oh, boom!
Wow.
Malphite just going in for the ult and just taking it.
See, again, Ari still has a flash up.
She could have flashed that well, when I say easily, it's flashable, and if you know it's coming, then you don't have much of an excuse, as it can be flashed within a lot of reason.
This is twice where she's given up kills because she's been trying to save that flash. Where obviously, with her ultimate, it's another escape. She needs to be a little bit less hesitant on the flash.
Ooh. Malphite's loud lagging. Oh jeez, we're having quite a lot of issues today.
Classic EU West.
Oh well, it's the weekend, and you know exactly what happens then.
I'm surprised we're even online right now to be able to play them.
Hey, my name's Space, and this is Jackass, and today we're gonna disconnect from EU West. Okay, so now we're gonna have to wait quite some time. This game has been very odd. Kills and towers.
A summoner
One
has
side
disconnected.
grabbing all the towers, other side grabbing the kills. Has it been worth it for them to lose these kills over the towers? You could say yes, you could say no, but Ari's been slacking. She's not been using her flash when she needs to be. Burning a flash, you've burnt a flash. That's not 300 gold down the drain. Although when you just don't burn that flash and die, you're just giving away gold that you could have just averted by flashing away.
I think the first blood, she should have used the flash. Obviously, that gave Lee Sin the advantage. It gave him the ability to start snowballing those kills. But the towers, obviously a massive objective. Global gold for your whole team, not just for one person. So it's getting spread out on the people that need it as well. And obviously the vision it denies, and then obviously they've got no tower to run back to. So it would be able to set up, it should give the least chance to be able to set up more
This
and
is
get the
true.
ganks.
Definitely. And the only people who really have a big lead is just Lee Sin. Lee Sin's got the 3 kills. Okay, he's got his 2 Doran's Blade and his mobility boots. And he has a Warden's Mail. Now, the Warden Mail is good because it does give you that attack speed reduction. But it doesn't feel like he should have went for that. I thought maybe a Giant Spell, maybe a Sightstone, just that extra HP is more effective early game than it is when you just buy resistances.
I do think the kills would have been much better if he had passed them over to Cannon to get that early Zhonya's, so obviously he can just dive into the middle of the fight, get his ult and Zhonya's.
This is very true. Although Kennen isn't actually building the Zhonya's, he's going Abyssal Scepter from what it looks like. He's got a Negatron Cloak and a Blasting one. Although he's going to be building, that's another 1,000 gold for that Abyssal Scepter he's going to need to buy for. So now he's delayed his ultimate weapon, if it were, the Zhonya's. Now, what's that going to mean when it comes to team fighting mid-game?
Well, obviously not having the Zhonya's, he's going to be able to be charmed up. Obviously the Zyra will be able to root him. Obviously the knockback from Tristana, whereas if he had the Zhonya's, he'd be able to dive in the middle. And obviously he wouldn't be knocked back, or the knock up from the Zyra roll. So obviously it's going to delay his ability just to dive into the middle of a fight. And obviously then, with the CC that Manchester have, obviously they're going to be able to negate that ult a bit.
This is
Whereas
very true.
If he had that Zhonya's, he'd be able to dive in the middle. Obviously the Tristana wouldn't be able to knock back because of the Zhonya's. And that's you're keeping your ult on them then as much as you can. Obviously, whereas at the moment without it, the dive in Tristana ults him away. That's an ult gone, and obviously a massive part of their composition gone, because that's that lockdown and the damage that they'll be missing massively in a fight.
It's
I
just
feel Manchester really thought this through with their mid pick and their AD carry to be able to get out of this cannon ult, and obviously with the Zyra to be able to disengage here.
going on to the Malphite. Now, Malphite has his Giant Spell, as I said. Giant Spell, biggest pickup item for Malphite, gives him the health he needs and then he can start to build armor or whatever resistances he does need, especially because the armor does benefit his W and his E. Getting the health increases his passive shield. Now that'll allow him to take, an extra auto attack from Tristana or a spell from Ahri. It also just gives him that tankiness to go in and just initiate without taking so much. Although he does have his Giant's Belt, but he's got a Ruby Crystal. Now, judging by that, is he going Warmogs, or is he still going to go for the Sunfire Cape as is most common on Malphites?
I can't see the Warmogs making any sense to pick up for him. There's the Sunfire Cape and the Randians would be so much better options on him than a Warmogs, because all Warmogs does is flat health and some health regen. Whereas, obviously with the Sunfire and the Randians, he gets some resistances as well, and obviously the Randians would give the attack speed slow. Obviously shut Tristana down a bit. I know he's got it on his E, but obviously if he can't get into range of the Tristana, at least having the Randians be able to obviously still apply the slow when she's attacking him. And obviously being at the front line, obviously she doesn't want to dive deep into their team, obviously into the cannon ult. So she's going to be hitting the Malphite until she can get into range of the others. So having that Randian putting that attack speed slow onto her will shut down a lot of her damage.
That's true. The Malphite getting that Randuin is going to slow her. It's going to slow the attack speed. It's going to be huge. Although Lee Sin looks like he's going to go straight Randuins and just get in about Tristana, put down the cripple, and just keep her just locked down. Stop her from having that huge, massive 80% steroid on her attack speed. Is it 80% still? I believe it is. On her Q just gives her so much DPS output, especially late game when she already has maybe an IE and a Phantom Dancer and a Last Whisper. That's going to be so much damage put out. With the cripple and the Randuins, that should keep her under wraps. Although the protection for Vayne, can we see Vayne get protected, or is she going to have to protect herself?
The only protection I can see obviously is coming out from the Janna. Because Lee Sin's going to want to dive into the fight. Cannon's definitely going to want to dive in the fight. And obviously Malphite wants to ult in the fight. So they'll all be leaving Vayne. So the only protection she will be getting will be the Janna. Obviously, but still going to leave her quite vulnerable to the Ahri and the Vi. And obviously the Elise diving onto her.
That's very true. We have Howling Gale. That's one disengage. And then we have the Monsoon coming out from Janna. It just gives two different disengages, although with their team, Ahri's got 3 dashes, and one of them's going to get to her. We have Vi, who can't be knocked away until she's ulted fully. Unless, Vayne somehow gets out or dies beforehand. Vi's just going to get straight on top of her with the ult.
And we see Tristana going down there. That was some fantastic play. Obviously seeing the advantage, they had the 3-on-1 advantage. Condemn into the wall. Sealed that. But Ahri's looking strong, even the one for 3. She's... See, that's another problem with the delay of the Zhonya's.
Oh my god.
The charm hits. That's it. Obviously he's got nothing to stop the damage. He hasn't got the Zhonya's. I can understand the pickup of the Abyssal to an extent, with Elise's damage, magic, and along with the Ahri's going to want to burst him down. Which is another reason why the Zhonya's are in fantastic pickup. Because if Ahri goes for, obviously, the Deathfire Grasp, you can Zhonya's and just negate that debuff. It's going to give that extra 20% that would be stacked from it.
Now here we are, we're going for a dragon. Are we going to get a contest? Even though Malphite's ultimate is down, he still has flash. We have 4 members of the enemy team coming down. Cardiff not going to contest this, although Lee Sin's going in by himself. Need to remember, Malphite has no ult, but Kennan's going to go in with a Slice and Maelstrom. Gets knocked away from Janna. Here comes the Zyra ult, as we're saying. That's an easy kill on Cannon right there. Zyra just keeping Kennen just in the right position, keeping him upwards into the air and letting our team just pick him off.
I think they made a big mistake there, not having the Malphite ult up for that fight. Obviously, they couldn't get the lockdown on them to stack the cannon ult on top of that.
That's huge. The Malphite burned his ult. He could have just flashed. He had his flash up when he got caught in the jungle. Instead of flashing out, keeping his ult because he knows he's going to need it, he ults away. Well, he ults on top of the enemies when there was no kill potential. There was no allies in position to follow up on that ultimate at the time.
That fight was defined by Malphite not having his ultimate up. Obviously, they're going to want to stack that, get the crowd control from that, so Kennen can land a full ultimate and get the stun across the enemy team. And obviously, just using it on the two people, then going for the dragon fight, just gave Manchester so much advantage. Obviously, not having that CC up, Zyra can obviously just disengage the cannon ult. So that's two big ultimates out of the fight. Another thing I can't... Malphite's now got the Sunfire Cape, which is going to help him a lot. With having the teleport, he's going to want to be off in that side lane, split pushing, obviously bringing someone down to him. And obviously if they can time it when Vi's teleport is down, obviously they'll be able to turn a fight into 5v4 into their favour.
In saying that, we do have just the right fights are happening for blue side. They're just able to disengage from Kennen. Malphite burns his ult, and that's it. We have Vi going on to Kennen here, and Vi gets the ult, although she does have stacks. Oh, the stacks are gone now, and there we go. Easy pickup on Kennen. Why did she get that kill? No Zonya's.
Well, obviously the Zonya's there would have been able to negate the Vi ult, and now this is massive for Manchester.
And Malphite just missed his ultimate. That's crucial, and now he's gonna die right here.
Two big ults down with the Kennen and the Malphite ult down, and obviously now they should be able to push into this tower. This is just massive for Manchester. They're just taking the advantages all over the map. That all come off by being able to one-on-one Kennen.
This is just huge. Kennen really needed the Zonyas. If he needed in lane when playing Kennen, you might need a defensive stats. Then a Haunting Guise would have been preferential. It gives him the health he needs against Ahri to survive her burst, and that allows him to go for that just go for the Zonyas after the Haunting Guise, and also sets him up for late game.
I can't understand him not picking up that Zonyas, especially with someone like Vi obviously being able to lock down. The Abyssal Scepter's just doing nothing for him.
And there we go. Oh.
Obviously, if he could have Zonya'd that, Ahri would have overcommitted, and he would have survived that. I just can't understand his pickup of the Abyssal. Obviously, he's just missing out on so much presence in the fight, because obviously he can't negate that damage. He's got no armor against the Tristana, and obviously against the Vi. And he is just too far. He's too far behind now to be able to be effective in the fights.
It is just that quite disheartening to see. Kennen could have. You can see his logic behind going the Abyssal Scepter, resistances, Ahri's magic damage, and Tristana just missed her rocket jump there. That was odd.
I can understand it if the laning phase was going to go on for a longer time, but obviously with the laning phase being so short, obviously the Zonyas is going to have a much bigger effect in the fight.
Now, I believe this game is going to be very much downhill from here. There's a 4,000 gold lead and huge map control. If we look at bottom side, we have a ward here, we have a ward here, here, and here. That's the entire of the bottom side of their jungle completely warded up. And right here, Ahri goes in with the DFG, Janet bursts flash, and Ahri misses her ultimate.
Just looking at the gold differences, Ara's on 7.6k, Kennen's 5.8k. That's almost Zonya's. It's absolutely massive, especially at this 20 minutes in. That's a massive gap between the two AP carries.
Now, right now, you could think. Do you think to yourself, can we risk a Baron? We have Vision Wards in the top side of the jungle, and we have an Oracles on the team. Is it about time for that?
I can't see it be worth it. With the Malphite ult and the Kennen ult, being in that small Baron pit would give Cardiff such a great chance to engage. Obviously with the knock up and then the stun, on top of the Baron damage, it would just be way too risky for them at the moment.
Now we still have the huge split pushing from the two side lanes. Now with Tristana picking up the Drake, of getting there very shortly. That's another Drake picked up for Manchester. Even though they have traded the inner mid lane turret, that's a Drake and possibly top tower gone.
That was a great pick off Manchester. Obviously giving up the turret, but taking the Drake's going to counteract the gold they got from that turret.
Yeah, hurry up.
This is massive. If they can get this next kill, now
There we go. Two deaths down.
This is where they want to be 5-man pushing that mid for that inhibitor tower. Obviously, if they can get the Ahri on top of this.
Oh, and huge damage come from Ahri. Vayne goes down, but
that's a massive turn. Taking the Vayne out, obviously, takes out some of their tower potential. But with the big minion wave in the middle, why they chased is. I just don't understand. They could have took that wave and possibly got that inhib tower. I think they're just trying to focus on getting these kills and getting these shutdowns now, obviously trying to take them. Instead of focusing on the objectives like they need to be doing at this stage for Cardiff, to try and get this gold back to level.
Now looking at what just happened in that team fight, that just gave Cardiff a lot more back. Sure, they were lost to Vayne in the fight, but they managed to take out the Zyra, they got the Ahri, they killed the Lise. Vi was pushing top the entire time. That was a 4v5. Now Vi being level 14, so is Ahri's level 14 as well, but Vi being level 14 compared to Malphite's 12, and even in more retrospect, Janna's level 9. Now, Vi's got 5 levels over the Janna right now. That's a lot of just base stats that she's going to have over the enemy team when it comes to team fights. But she needs to be there for the team fights now.
It just looks like in this game, Cardiff have just seemed to tunnel the kills. I mean, the blue Manchester's outer tower on the bottom lane still standing. At this stage in the game, that's free global gold for your team. The Malphite with his teleport should be down there, trying to split push that tower and take that tower to get the global gold back as even as they can. But at the moment, they just seem to be trying to go for the fights, which I hate to say it, they're just too far behind to even win one at the moment. Obviously, with Kennen not having the Zonyas, the disengage, you can shut him down, and they're just too far behind for the fights.
Now, looking at this, Vi's went back down to bot lane, split pushing that up. She's got her teleport up, so she is now able to come into team fights. But she needs a ward to teleport to, or at least something. Although she now has that, all of topside is warded, she is able to come into. Although she will be late to the team fight if a team fight does occur.
But with their team comp, that's not so bad. If Zyra can obviously get the disengage, just delay the fight long enough for Vi to get in, she can come in from the back line and take out the Vayne. Obviously with the level advantage, she'll be able to get the ult onto the Vayne. Obviously Janna's ult's negated by the Vi's ulting. So there's nothing the Vayne would be able to do to get the Vi off her.
And then looking at this now, it's Black Cleaver on Vi, Randuin's is incoming, and she's got a Phage. There's so much just kill potential, chasing, and tankiness. Vayne's gonna have a lot of problems.
We just saw Kennen just get absolutely destroyed by this Ahri. This Ahri is just getting out of control.
I actually missed that was how quick it was.
I saw it at the last second. That damage coming out from Ari, if she gets onto the Vayne in a team fight, that's it. That fight's over. I can Vayne's just Cannon's too far behind. Vayne's are any real damage now. If they can just take out that Vayne, Cannon's just not going to do anything.
Oh, here comes the Lee Sin kick in. Malphite has a perfect time to ult in if he can. He can get right on top of. But he just
kick.
there we go. That Malphite ult was so late in that team fight. And now Cannon's able to ult in. Malphite could pick up a double. There we go, double kill on Malphite.
Got the Viola.
If Vi just picks it up. That was a really messy team fight. Malphite just way too late on the ultimate.
After the Ari got out, Manchester's best bet would have been just to disengage that. Because they got the kill, just disengage and don't give any advantages back. Because as you saw, even with the Ari being kicked under the tower, they didn't have enough damage to finish her until she come back into the fight. And again, she's still got a flasher. Their best bet would have been take that kill and disengage. You know, just go and clear your top wave, because now the top wave's had a push. You know, it's got, obviously it's not massive damage on tower and Zyra's got up there, but you know, that's all that farm that they've missed, that say the Tristana has missed out on. You know, she could have got a Zeal off that, although I do think she's going for a Last Whisper next.
Right now, Vi's going Trinity Force. She's finished the Randoons now. Now we're talking about the Vayne is just going to get shut down from her. Vi's 5-0 right now. She's beefy. She does damage. Her bases are high. She is going to be such a problem in team fights now. Vi's looking extremely scary, especially when she picks up that Sheen. 200% on her base autos. That's a lot of damage putting out there.
Just looking at the Vayne build, she's gone for a Last Whisper, yet other than Vi's just finished Randians, none of them had a lot of armour. So she would have been so much better off going for the Phantom Dancer and getting those attacks out and getting that silver bullet procs out. And obviously with the movement speed as well, it would have gave her a little bit more to be able to get away from people diving in on her. I just can't understand such early Last Whisper pick.
Yeah, here we are, we're going into the team fight. Malphite ult, Kennen ult, and oh, the wiping out right there. Vi is able to get right into the backline. Isn't tanky enough. She's going to go down for the Vayne. That was a really strong team fight right there for Kennen and Malphite. 3 people dead right there. Although Tristana's now left alive, they're going to need to turn out her on this, or they're going to end up losing Malphite. Malphite now goes down. They need to turn on that possibly and just see what they could have done. Tristana's damage right now is really high.
If they had turned on that, that would have been an easy triple kill for Tristana. Obviously, with the resets on her W, she would have been able to get the jump and just shut them completely down. But in that fight, Vi was ulting Janna when she was stood next to the Vayne.
That possibly was a misclick. Oh, and now we have Kennen going down.
That Vayne.
Kennen just takes down Zyra.
This is much better for Kennen. Now he's getting closer to that Zhonya, so he can be much more effective in those team fights. I feel that Manchester just haven't took this early gold lead they've had and just tried to finish the game. They had such a huge advantage that they should have been trying to force things more. Whereas they just seem to leave Vi to split push at the top and just sit off a bit, giving Cardiff the ability to come back into this game. And as you've seen from the last few team fights, if Cardiff stack those ults, they have the ability to win these team fights. Now that Vayne's obviously got a Blade of the Rune King, the damage she's going to be putting out, if they can lock down someone like the Vi or the Ari, they should be able to kill her in the burst they've got.
It's just very strange they've just not been able to just keep Kennen away. But that's the thing. They've been using Janna really effectively in these team fights. Janna's just sat beside Vayne, kept her shielded up, monsooned when she really needs to, using the Howling Gale to protect, and letting the Kennen and the Malphite just go straight in, just trying to get the team fight won. Now Vi's been trying her best to kill Vayne. She's sure she might kill Vayne, she might not. But even if she does, she's still gonna die because Janna is doing the support thing. She's keeping Vayne from dying most team fights. And now that Vi is really the only strong one on the team other than the Ahri, and the Tristana is getting there. We have here in the bot lane, look at the damage coming out from Vi. That was on Malphite right there.
It's just completely shutting down Malphite's ability to use that teleport to split push, because Vi can one-on-one him, but yet Malphite cannot one-on-one Vi. Ooh, Tristana could be caught out here.
Oh, we have Lisa. Oh, and the damage coming out from Ahri. That was huge amounts. Ahri's getting cocky. Ahri needs to.
All along.
That was
And
really
see, this
close.
is where the Zhonya's for Cannon would have been huge there, because he would have been able to, he probably would have been able to get the kill on Ahri there. You know, at least get a kill in that team fight instead of 3 for 0. This is Manchester can just push through onto that turret now. Oh no, it's an open inhibitor.
Here we are. Easy inhibitor goes down.
This should be a free inhibitor
3k.
for Manchester, because Malphite can't fight Vi.
No,
that Ahri
really
damage
can't.
is just massive on the Bane.
That's what happens when you have the DFG, you have the Zhonyas, and now Ahri's going death cap. Her damage is now just going to spike through the roof with that. As soon as she gets that death cap, Vayne's not going to stand a chance. Even Kennen, unless Kennen gets that Zhonya's within the next few minutes, it's going to mean pain for Kennen. Now we have a really, really dirty team fight going on here. Tristana getting caught out from Vayne. Vayne's going to use her passive to catch up onto either Tristana or Elise. Decides to go on and gets caught. Greedy. Right there, that was quite greedy. Should have
Malphite
known.
wasted his ult. That was a massive waste of his ult by Malphite, because there was nobody around him to finish up that damage, to follow up on that damage. You know, Vayne still wasn't close enough, and
We are.
this should be.
This is GG
This
right
should be
here.
GG now. This is Manchester. I think Kennen needed to get that Zhonya's earlier. That's a definite.
Just built it right
and
there.
Malphite,
Only
Malphite
just
has
built
to
it right there.
he just seemed to use his ult. Like, he just seemed to be a bit trigger happy on his ultimate. Obviously, just wanted to dive in and get those kills on the 1-2 person instead of waiting and trying to stack that CC.
And GG's go all round, and that's the game. Manchester win it, getting that first game. Really well done by them. Cardiff did play
Well,
really
we have
well when they got the team fights going on. They managed to AoE them down, but with Vi
have to
being
give credit
so
to that
strong, that Vi was strong
That-
all throughout.
That Vi played that fantastically, and Ahri as well. Even though giving up the first blood, she turned it round. She was massive. And the Janna was so far behind.
GG's came round. They couldn't get that Vi just out of the team fights. She just managed to get on top of Vayne and kill her 1v1. Just the amount of damage that came out just stopped Vayne completely. I was just saying, not enough peel for Vayne, but the team fights could have went better for Cardiff. They just couldn't get their ults on the right people at many times, especially with
honestly-
Malphite using his ult in the most incorrect ways at times. Really well played from both teams, but gotta hand it to Manchester for a very strong comp.
I really do think that a Leona would have been a much better pickup than the Janna for their team comp. Obviously, with this and the crowd control she would have been able to give out to protect the Vayne, it would have just been overall a much better pickup than the Janna. But fantastic game by Manchester, and credits for Vi and Ahri. They were huge.
Alright, we're going to take a quick break until we get to the next game. So from now, just going to put on just a little bit of music until we get into it.